Hi everyone, my name is Don. I'm a general surgery resident. Today I wanted to show you 5 tips to help you wake up and stay up at almost any time and feel less tired and have more energy during the day. So obviously everyone loves to sleep and it's such a common issue to not be able to wake up or feel tired all the time. So I wanted to make this video today to show you tips that I've personally implemented myself to help me improve my sleep and help me feel less tired when I wake up, especially when I'm on call and when I don't sleep a lot, when I have a lot of interrupted sleep, or when it's in the middle of the night, or when I've stayed up for a long amount of time. I use these tips to help me feel really good, or just at least not as crappy. So my first and most important tip is to know how much sleep you actually need. And by that I mean almost down to the exact minute or the range of hours of sleep you need to feel good. And also, depending on the times you go to bed, you should know if you're gonna need more sleep or less. I find that 7 hours of sleep doesn't always feel like 7 hours depending on the time you go to bed. So I would encourage, if possible, to go to sleep early. I know that's always difficult, but I find I always feel better going to sleep before 11, even if I sleep the same amount of time. If I sleep at 1 a.m. for example, I won't feel as good in the morning. Try to determine how much sleep you're getting and how you feel during the day, and if you're feeling tired. I know that for myself, my sweet spot is around 7 hours to 7.5 hours. If I have anything less than that, I can power through the day, but I'll feel tired. But if I know I had 7.5 hours, I know that during the day, I won't feel tired. And if I don't feel good, it's probably something else. So for example, if I've only had 5 hours sleep a night, I know that I'll have to catch up about 2 hours during the day at some point or at the next night. I always try to keep a balance, and if I'm missing some sleep somewhere, I have to catch it up another time. I used to use an app called Sleepbot, I think, on Android, and you would plug your phone in and leave the phone on your bed while you sleep, and then it'll record the amount of hours you sleep, but also record if you're snoring, if you're moving a lot, and this can help you quantify and qualify what the problems in your sleep are, if there are any major issues, but also just keep a log of how much sleep you're getting and make daily averages. So another app I really liked is Sleepy Time that you can find online for free, which basically you put in the time that you're going to bed and it'll tell you when the best times to wake up are depending on your REM sleep cycles. Or you can do the opposite, where you say you want to wake up at a certain time and it'll tell you the best times to go to bed so that you have full cycles of REM sleep and you're not interrupting any cycle, which can actually be very tiring when that happens. The second tip I have for you is to drink a lot of water. And I mean just plain old water. And that's something I think about all day, but even then I struggle to keep up with it. I think in general we're always a bit lacking hydration because we don't drink water during the day, and that can have an effect on having low energy and just kind of feeling out of it and tired. So other than trying to remind myself to drink a lot of water during the day, the one thing I do consistently is when I wake up, the first thing I do is drink a lot of water, as much as my body will allow me actually. I try to drink about 2 cups. It doesn't always feel great. My body's really not feeling it in the morning, but I really try to do it because it almost instantly wakes me up within a few minutes. I even try to get out of bed, drink all that water, go back to bed for just a few minutes, and when I'm gonna wake up for real, I'll feel a lot better. And so that's something I do all the time when I'm on call too. If I have to wake up in the middle of the night, I'll always drink a glass of water before doing anything because I know that my body's probably a little dehydrated even from a little bit of sleep. So the third tip I have for you is to sleep in a pitch black room. In terms of changing the way I actually sleep, I found that this has made the biggest impact for me. So if you think your room is dark, really try to have a good look at it and try to see it objectively, because you do get used to the amount of light your room has, but blinds are not always perfect. And I find the best darkness is when you can't even see your hand in front of your face because it's so dark. And if that's not possible, like for example, the on-call rooms in the hospital are not really that dark to my liking, so I'll bring a sleep mask and sleep with it. The one I have here is actually really comfortable. It's from Amazon, and the way it's curved actually makes it feel really comfortable. It doesn't press on your eyelids, and my eyes can kind of open and close freely. It's just darkening the entire area around it. So I didn't used to like sleep masks, but this one I find very comfortable. So the fourth thing that helped me wake up consistently is a little gadget, and it's the Philips wake up light. So this is basically a sleep alarm clock that will gradually turn on more and more light as you approach the alarm that you set. It'll gradually turn on, letting you gradually be awake without it being so abrupt. I wouldn't say this is so necessary, but I did find it to help me a little. It does cost a bit over $100, so it's a little bit of an investment. So if you have the chance to try it out to see if it works for you, then be sure to do that before investing the money. So the last tip I have is to stay more awake when you haven't had enough sleep, when you had a long day, or you've been working long hours. And that tip, of course, is to take or drink something that'll keep you awake, such as caffeine. I'm not a big coffee drinker myself. I find that when I drink it, it does affect me quite a bit, but I do have a bit of a crash. And when I drink it at night to stay awake on call, I find that it doesn't help me that much. It just makes me feel a little bit crappy. So I found that caffeine pills that you can buy really cheap online on Amazon help me more than coffee does and has better effects for me. I find the effects to last about the same amount of time, but I don't feel the come up as much. I don't feel my heart racing as much, and I don't feel the crash as much as I do when I drink a cup of coffee. So I encourage you to experiment a little bit with the different forms of caffeine out there and see whatever works best for you, because it's not always the same effect. To add on to supplements to help you feel better during the day when you're tired, I would encourage taking nausea medication, so Gravol, but watch out with Gravol. Obviously, one of the effects is that it does make you drowsy, so there are natural forms that include ginger, which actually work quite well. Because when you get really tired, when it's 4 or 5 a.m. on call, you get really nauseated because at 4 or 5 in the morning, your body doesn't really know how to adjust and you feel quite nauseated. So I find that taking a little bit of a Gravol helps with that. And the last, of course, is if you have any headache from not sleeping enough, just take Tylenol. You can take it as prescribed, take the extra strength. So I even take Tylenol at night before feeling any kind of headache, just so that it preemptively acts against it. And these, of course, are kind of just to feel better, to be more alert and more focused when you have to push yourself a little, but nothing's gonna compensate for lacking the amount of sleep that you know you need. And a bonus tip I have for you, which may sound obvious but shouldn't be understated, is to have a reason to wake up. If you know that you got enough sleep and that you feel relatively good in the mornings, but during the day you find yourself tired, well, it might be that you're not enjoying what you're doing. My example personally was when I was doing different rotations as a student. I felt good during the day, but just a bit more tired. I find that even after a day of internal medicine, for example, was as tiring as a 12-hour day of surgery. And so I knew that it was because I was enjoying surgery a lot more. I was more focused and more driven during the day, and that helped me stay alert, feel good, and feel awake. And so when I'm on call, when I have to wake up for a patient that I'm caring for personally, or for something exciting like the operating room, I find there's no trouble waking up at any time for that. And so it does sound cheesy, but it's definitely a lot easier to wake up at night when you're excited for the day that's coming. And that's why I find it worth it and exciting to wake up at 5 a.m. to go learn about surgery. And so I hope that at least some of these tips were helpful for you and that you do implement them at some point or try them out to see if it does improve your sleep. Let me know what you guys think. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.